What happens then? What do you do now?
So this is the time when we step towards a surveillance capability to establish who's using that vehicle. And it's not long before we see a lone male, elderly male, regularly using that vehicle. That's John Ken Collins.
The first member of the gang to be identified couldn't have been further from the press's image of a Serbian gangster.
Sure, I'm all right with this, man. I'm all right.
He was in fact a 74-year-old grandfather who had lived in North London all his life, not 2 miles from the vault.
I think they'd have a better security. It was a piss-hole place anyway. Could have all stuck it up themselves.
3 days after the Hatton Garden burglary was discovered, the flying squad had its first major breakthrough. They traced the distinctive vehicle from the crime scene to a John Kenny Collins, here giving his first television interview after leaving prison.
It's a living. Being a criminal is a living, isn't it? It's what you do for a living. Like you think it's what you do.
So you get the name Collins, you look at his criminal record, and what does that tell you?
It tells us that he's got a significant number of years in prison for serious offences, organised crime.
Collins had been a face in the London underworld since the 1960s. Detectives checked the CCTV to find out what part he played in the burglary.
So that's the van parks up, and that's Collins. He goes into 25 Hatton Garden, across the way. From that position, he can see the front door in Hatton Garden and that fire escape side door.
They wanted me to be the lookout and drive the van.
Collins is then seen leaving his lookout post on the Good Friday morning when the gang come out empty-handed. They now had Collins, his car, his home address, and CCTV footage of him leaving his lookout post across from the vault. They now put a surveillance team on him to see if he would lead them to other members of the gang.